Welcome, everyone, to the Extraordinary Gentleman Podcast. Today we have a special treat, a new offering from the Nick Offerman Lagavulin collection. Hey, that wasn't that bad. That was a pretty good pun.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to be trying the newly released to us. I don't know when this will get published, but 11-year Lagavulin single malt Scotch whiskey. The Nick Offerman edition. It is a Guinness. Is it a finish in Guinness? Or how long? I'm not sure. I can read the bottle when we get into it. But please listen along as we give you our take. We're going to try the new one, the old Nick Offerman edition, and then we're going to compare the two to the default Lagavulin 16. The nice, delicious, subtle, smoky Scotch of choice.
The nectar of the
gods.
nectar
of the gods.
Once again, Carter will not be joining us today. He is busy, so it'll be just Zach and I. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for everyone else, experiencing this new edition from Lagavulin. Mm-hmm. So
let's do it.
So a little bit of background. He is correct. It is finished in Guinness barrels. Nice cork. This is a pretty fresh bottle of the Nick Offerman. So I cannot wait to give this a try. I've seen this bottle sell for around anywhere from $75 to about $90. So depending on sort. So shop around if you can. Ooh, yes. It is much darker than a normal Lagavulin, just on the color.
Well, actually, it's lighter
Than regular Lagavulin?
Yep, I did this comparison
Really?
on accident. When I was drinking with Griffin when I bought it. He pulled out his Log 16. Mm-hmm. The Log 16 compared to this, way more amber, like red, cherry colored. In comparison, but I'm kind of holding out hope. I'll tell my conclusions from that day after, but I'm just holding out hope that was like either like an earlier Log 16 or like a special edition or something that he didn't realize.
The nose is very, obviously it's got smoke on it, but like there's like a taffy, saltwater taffy, and some sort of citrus on the nose, would you agree? Possibly. Or fruit? Some sort of fruit, surely.
It is kind of like when you put salt on like a grapefruit. I get kind of grapefruit from it.
Salt?
Yeah, salt on a grapefruit.
Do you do that? I haven't.
Have you
That's a thing? No.
Oh, yeah. Salt on fruits because it makes it sweeter. Instead of sugar on fruits, put salt on fruits. Ever tried that?
No.
It works with grapefruits and kiwis and usually just things that are super acidic. The acid combines with the salt and it changes the profile from something super salt or tart or sour to super sweet and sugary. It just says finished in Guinness cask. I was looking for like how long are they finished, but it doesn't really matter. It's 46% ABV.
I wonder if I should grab. I have the unopened one in the cabinet. If we want to read the back of the box, if we want to. Do that.
If there's anything on it, I don't remember there being anything in particular.
It's fluff.
Okay.
On the box,
but there is a quote on here from Nick Offerman, so I'll just read that.
All right.
I have traveled the world and sampled many attempts at pleasing nectars, but it is solely this distillation of Islay, a tiny, charismatic Scottish isle, that has claimed my palate. Yes, and my heart into the bargain. Nick Offerman. Don't know what that last part was. And my heart into the bargain? Claimed my palate and my heart. Yeah, okay.
So I grabbed the box. Would you mind reading this for us? Because I know
sure.
There's no hope for me.
You want the whole thing?
Yeah, sure.
Go on a journey.
Good, nice review.
My dad is famous across the Midwest as the winningest and only man ever to be tolerated by my mother, the famous beauty Catherine of County Kendall. I have prospered greatly by his example, as he has instructed me in crafting a good life. One of his best lessons is to always carry a clean handkerchief, but he also teaches me to work hard and to try my darndest at whatever task I have the privilege to essay. After a job well done, we too always enjoy a comfortable seat and a well-earned, heavily peated single malt Scotch whiskey. This is why the new Offerman Lagavulin 11 year is right up our workbench. We take the traditional Lagavulin peatiness, that singular aroma that can only be concocted in one idyllic spot on this green earth, and toss in notes of red berries and green apple to establish an incredible foundation of flavor. Good fun, right? Now comes the funner part. Stay with me. We have taken possession of American white oak barrels within which delectable Guinness beer formerly slumbered at Baltimore's Guinness Open Gate Brewery. And in parentheses, Baltimore is derived from the Irish name Bale in T. Oh yeah, this is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Timwire. Then we shipped those noble casks from Maryland across the vast ocean until they ultimately landed in Scotland, where we filled them anew with delicious Lagavulin. After 4 months of purely platonic finishing, the golden brown elixir of the gods, I like to say nectar of the gods, elixir of the gods has been imbued with traces of chocolate, wisps of vanilla, and a chili pepper kick that stays in the finish until the party is over. I wouldn't say chili pepper, but anyway, I am extremely satisfied with the liquid we have created, but I wasn't certain until my dad tried it. He took his time, considering all of the complex layers. Then he looked me in the eye, nodded firmly, and shook my hand. I hope you feel the same. Nick Offerman.
That is a paragraph and a half.
There's actually 3 paragraphs. So, yeah, they talked about chili pepper, and we were discussing this before, a zestiness in the flavor. Kind of how we just noted the citrusiness of the nose. Yeah, I wouldn't call it chili pepper. I think zest, fruity zest.
Yeah. Yeah, so this isn't our first time trying this, we should say. So there's a little bit of, should we call it preparation?
Right. Just
it was research.
Research. It's a taste test, you know. I wasn't thinking about
exactly
what I was tasting. I was just enjoying it.
Before you taste it, on the nose, when you were reading it, I was exploring the nose on it a bit, and I did thinking graham cracker, or perhaps more so than just graham cracker, maybe s'mores on the nose.
They talk about the chocolate. That wasn't the flavor though. But yeah, I think that s'mores thing, it comes out. It's the marshmallow, chocolate.
Yeah. And like a honey graham cracker. It's a very good nose, actually.
And Guinness has that too, that chocolatey I won't say marshmallow, but you know, it's like a sweetie, you know, gummy flavor.
Right. Yeah. No, it's fantastic nose. I think we're ready to go on palate. Classic log richness. The honey comes through again.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I get the chili pepper. For real though. That's what it must have been the glass I was enjoying it in. It was just like it was a whiskey glass, but it was a tumbler, you know.
It was like, oh, it wasn't or was?
It was just a tumbler.
Okay.
So if you can call a tumbler a whiskey glass, you know. Yeah, this is okay. This is different. This is new for me because it tasted only slightly similar than what it did before.
I remember the first time I had this, I was thinking it was like I explained this to you too. The analogy I used was the orange chocolates that are they got like the foil, so they look like an orange with the foil, and you peel off the foil, and they're like in 16ths or something.
Yeah.
And then just little slices of like an orange.
Yeah.
But the chocolate.
I should have looked it up because, well, I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I know I haven't had one or, tasted one, but I can totally picture like the little, like a metal tin in 16 slices, and it's in the orange. Like, I know what you're talking about, but I am for certain I have not had one of those.
Yeah. And it's milk chocolate, but it's got that orange citrus notes to it. And I think it's got the, like the Crunch Bar, like the Rice crispy things into it too. And that's what it was the first time. What it was like for me, it was like orange. Then the body was just chocolate, like creaminess, and the end was like a little crispy rice, notes too. Now
I get a lot of tobacco that the regular log doesn't have, but this has for some reason. A very herbal
quality.
quality.
Okay. It's extremely creamy.
Yeah.
In the body.
Yeah. And it's like a malted chocolate,
And it's 46%, I can see from here. So it is 3% higher than I think the 16 is. The 16, I believe, is 43. We have verified
You are correct.
So it's a little bit hotter, but I do feel like that the whole mid palate is just reinforced with that Guinness cask.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts out the same. It finishes different too. Like,
right.
So I was saying the chili pepper, that's totally there. I mean, and that's not from the Guinness. I mean, it is from the Guinness, but Guinness does not have that. I don't know what marriage happened.
It is 5 years off.
Yeah.
But we'll find out what notes carry over between this edition of the Nick Offerman
and the original
and the first.
Yeah. I don't know what marriage happened in that finishing barrel, or the finishing process, but good stuff happened there.
I'm gonna say I hadn't compared it to the 16. We'll do that in a little bit, but the analogy, well, what I thought was at that time, it's not necessarily better or worse. It's more of either way off to the left or right, where it's on that. It's good, but it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. It is still a Lagavulin, but it is as different as a Lagavulin 16 could be.
If I was stretching it, we often give like percentages. Like, this is 30% different. This is 40% different. This is like 60% the same. I'd say like this is 60% log 16, and 40% completely different. Not even comparable.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably say closer, maybe like a 25 to 30.
Sure.
But that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Still. Like, we're talking, it's not, how like sherry finishes can affect things, and it's usually, to me, it shows up more on the ending of a whiskey when it's finished in a sherry. This is just changing the middle. It's just completely different in the body, and the ending is different, but it's still you can still see the original path it took, so to speak. But I've never had a whiskey that's finished that the middle is just completely different. It is second time I've had this. I love this.
This is phenomenal. This is
amazing.
better than, because I tried it too. It was my second time. This is way better than the first time I had it.
Man, it is just chocolate heavy, creamy. I'm not finding the orange citrus I was saying that I found in the first time.
I'm gonna reread what they got for the box profile.
But the end zing is still there. Man, I'm gonna add water to it.
Okay, so for their flavor profile was just chocolate, vanilla, chili pepper.
Yeah.
And I mean, that hits the nail on the head.
I do feel like this is more complex. And a Log 16 is a very complex whiskey to begin with, but this is just...
It's layers. It's so many layers.
It's so dense.
Did you know they put nutrition facts on whiskey?
Some of them,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm reading it now.
I think it was it's required on some of them. I don't think it's seems like there's exceptions to the rule.
Yeah. Yeah, this is great. No carbs, no fat, no protein. This is a healthy drink.
Yeah. The water, it kind of lifted the ending a little bit more, it seems like. Now I'm going to try it again and see if I can find an actual note.
Smells better too. A little more balanced. Like it's been harmonized.
The fruit. I think the fruit came more alive with the water. I'm still not convinced it's orange that I originally had, but man, it is. Maybe it's more accurate. You know those chocolates that are like chili and chocolate?
Yeah.
It's that essentially.
Yeah, it is that.
But there's fruit in here. I cannot discern what it is.
I don't think it's fruity. I just think it's a sweet note that, I mean, it could be a fruit, but yeah, I can't nail down a fruit flavor in this. I'm just like, this is more activating of the sweet taste buds than
It's grapefruit.
Well, that's what I was saying about how it smelled a little bit. I don't know if it's.
I think
because I was seeking that out, the grapefruit.
I think it's grapefruit because it's not as sour as like an orange, but I think it's kind of
grapefruit's more sour than oranges.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I should say it's not sour; it's tart.
I feel like it's the meat of a grapefruit, but so obviously subtle. But
Yeah,
I still imagine there's some sort of citrus fruit in here. You know, whether it's an orange or grapefruit or something. But this is, you can't go wrong. If you like log to begin with, take, it's around the same price, $10 more maybe, depending on where you are.
it's totally worth a try.
Just get it.
Because there's no way you're not like, you might like it less than Log 16. You might, but honestly, there's just no way that if you like log, you're not gonna like
For
this.
a limited edition Lagavulin that is different. You're going to be spending $111. I think this is the next one. The Distiller's Edition.
Yeah.
And that's not as good as this. We have had the Distiller's Edition, and it's good, but it is not worth the money. Whereas this is almost the same amount, and it may be better than the 16. That's what we are here to find out for you.
We're doing you guys so much of a service. I mean,
you should pay us.
You should pay us because you really should. Because
this is the best free service.
We're running out of money real quick buying these whiskeys.
I didn't know we had money. All right, so we are moving on to the.
You want to rinse?
Yeah, rinse me out. We are moving on to the Nick Offerman, also 11-year, the first edition that came out. I may have to actually grab the box because I don't remember if there was anything special about this. I think it is just 11 years, but I will grab my unopened one.
While he's doing that, I guess I might as well just get a cork pop. This is a previously opened bottle, but maybe it might sound good. That's pretty good. A little squeaky.
Yep. If you would like to, Zach, I would appreciate it. Please read for us.
Now this one's a paragraph and a half, that's for sure. Just kidding. It's actually like 4. Whoever first said, "Be sure to stop and smell the roses," must have never tried Lagavulin. For my part, I say a well-crafted life is one in which your whiskey is poured when you have the ample time to savor it. When the day's work is done, and you can take the time to properly imbibe the robust goodness in your dram, well, it puts the smelling of flowers of any stripe to shame. At Offerman Woodshop, I select my various wood species for their strength, density, and rich visual beauty. With the discernment I have also applied to my choice of single malt. For this Lagavulin Offerman edition, I am grateful that my passion for wood has been brought to bear by utilizing refilled and rejuvenated American white oak casks in the maturation process. The romance begins with an initial whiff of peppery green apple, followed swiftly by a jitterbug of stewed berries. The tangy spice from the handmade charred casks perfectly couples in a tango with the peaty burnt ember characters, featuring a sensation on the nose reminiscent of your favorite campfire. To taste, the woody, peaty notes lead from the front, gently tingling the tongue in a cha-cha before fading to reveal a veritable waltz of sweet berry and orchard fruit notes. The familiar Lagavulin distillery character steps forth, presenting aromatic peat with every sip. A few moments after the liquid is gone, the peaty essence remains, characterizing a wonderfully energetic flamenco finish from a redoubtable liquid. There is a lot of dancing in this. Anyway, flamenco finish from a redoubtable liquid with an unmistakable panache for which I am tickled to write box copy. It looks great in a tutu to boot. This 11-year Lagavulin is like a top-shelf brass band, blowing smoky jazz and marching straight down your gullet. Nick Offerman.
I'd like to know if he writes this. He probably does, because I know he's written a lot of books and stuff.
Nick Offerman?
Yeah, but I would like to know if anyone else was responsible for writing that very well written and
I mean, why? I mean,
it's gotta be.
I think they would.
I think he's probably But
Um,
so essentially, these are recharred oak barrels. Is that what I got from that?
yeah, they call it rejuvenated.
Rejuvenated.
Yeah, that's what that means.
So I guess I'm not sure exactly if the 16 probably has recharred. I guess I'm not sure. We're not aware 100% of the difference between the 11 and the 16 other, obviously, than the age statement on the bottles. But the nose, while you were reading, I was exploring. I'm essentially getting the same smell minus the chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But I still get granola, or not granola.
They have the green apple note in both.
Okay.
But I think this one has it more. Like, not just missing chocolate, but also adding green apple. Because it definitely, that's that very acidic, tart scent.
Yeah.
Like the skin of the green apple. Not just the flesh, but you can,
Yeah, I totally see that. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, it's, other than that, I agree, it's the same. So I'm gonna taste it.
It's not as dense.
No, this one's kind of chocolatey too. I mean, not Guinness chocolate.
Yeah.
But it has like a bean, like a cocoa bean kind of thing going
I'll be
on.
curious to see where this translate in the 16, if it is there.
Yeah.
A
note. I guess you should go first.
all I was gonna say was like off of memory, if I got blinded on this and the 16, I probably wouldn't be able to distinguish the difference unless I was told to look for something.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say what astonishes me is the difference. This lacks a real finish. The last one.
Yeah, you're right.
The first one has such a nice, discernible, strong finish. This does not have it. It's good, but it falls away, after it comes on like regular log. It's got a good body, and then it's got that nice, smoky, classic log flavor.
Try it again.
Okay.
Decent mouthful. I think the ending is mint. I've always heard Lagavulin has a mint finish, and I think I finally actually picked it out in the 11. I think it's not so much as a flavor, but it leaves your mouth with like that minty finish.
Yeah. Yeah, because I breathe in, I'm thinking of like when I brush my teeth or something.
That's what I think.
And it cools your mouth.
Yeah.
I totally feel that.
Okay.
And I did taste. I did not taste it in the finish. I did taste it in the mid palate.
Oh, okay.
The spearmint.
Yeah.
I definitely, it was definitely there.
Right.
When I was looking for it. And then my mouth feels cool when I breathe, and that's good. But the Guinness one's better.
To me, this one seems like it's got. If the whiskey is a roller coaster, this one has. It's either a steeper drop, or it goes a little bit higher up. That's sharper, so to speak, than the Guinness finish. Like I think the creaminess kind of rounds out that top of that peak out, and it may not have such a sharp or a deep drop, a dip, so to speak, because it kind of seems like it evens out, plateaus a little bit before the first edition of the Offerman, where this one seems like it's very, very high on the sharpness, either like mint or just the all around body, and then it shoots down very steep and very far, and then it picks up a little bit with the mintiness. But the Guinness is more complicated.
Yeah, we're describing it being more complex and just super lots of layers.
Yeah,
This has a lot of layers too, but this is
it's
just
different.
So the other one has, you can taste all the layers.
Yeah.
This one you got to seek them out because
Yeah.
it's super delicate. It's really subtle
And I remember preferring the first edition Nick Offerman
to the regular
to
lot
the 16.
Yeah, okay.
The first time we did this,
Yeah.
which was not on the podcast, but privately. Just, I still like this. Is still very, very good, but this is 20% different than the finish, maybe 30-ish, 20 to 30, I would say, for me personally. I'm gonna add water just like Zach.
Yeah, so adding water, it doesn't ruin, but like it kind of deletes a lot of the scent. I feel like we lost a lot of things we were looking for because to me, all that remains is salt. Maybe it's because I've been nosing
I still get
just log for a while. But
yeah, I still get the graham cracker
you still do.
that I found in the previous one. Honey graham.
Yeah, I must have added too much water because that's gone.
Maybe like a mint. That rounded it out. That
Yeah.
sharp note got rounded out.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's pleasant. Don't get us wrong. It's very pleasant. You can assume that the smoke is still there. Like it's just because we're not talking about it.
It does. It tastes more with the water, more burnt.
Ashy?
Like,
Or you
yeah, like
talking
ashy. Yeah,
Okay.
like ashy. That's a better word.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because that has been elevated or because we lost that sharpness and then with the roundedness.
And now it's
Now
it's more obvious.
It's more prevalent.
Yes. Yeah, I guess it's more rounded, not as sharp without water.
Yeah.
But
So
still fine.
if I had to pick with or without, probably without,
Yeah,
just because
it was more interesting.
coming off the heels of the new Nick Offerman, having that sharp flavor is really nice.
Comparing to the two Offermans,
Yeah.
I prefer the second one.
You mean the new one?
The new one.
Yeah, I do too.
Second
I think,
edition, I guess.
I think it's just because there's more there. There's just more stuff
Yeah.
to taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is really good. This first Nick Offerman. Like if I'm calling like I this is more traditional Scotch flavors. You know, that second one I've never tasted Scotch that tastes like the new Nick Offerman because not many other Scotches finish it in Guinness. You
Right.
know, and now I'm curious to see people do it. I really hope that kind of
I think there was a
does something.
there might have been
others.
a. Well, there's the castmates
Right? Yeah, Jameson.
Jameson.
Yeah.
I have not had
Yeah,
it.
you haven't had that?
No, it's added. I've heard it's added a lot of depth
Yeah.
to the Jameson, but I need to go pee right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll talk about that Jameson because I was thinking about that when I was drinking this because we drink Jameson. I think Jameson personally is kind of it's kind of weak. You know, I think that way about a lot of Irish whiskeys, just because I like Scotch way too much. And so when you add the Jameson, the Caskmates version, it adds a darker note. It's more smooth. And unlike how we're saying with this original Offerman, how water makes it round out, adding the Guinness in the Jameson actually makes it sharper because it's more tart. It's stronger flavors. You're not losing anything because Jameson's basically what was the round profile, and now you're adding a Guinness, which it has a harder profile of flavor into the base. And so, which is flip flop of this, where you have a smoky, sharp tasting log. We keep using those words: sharp, smoky, shallow, rounded. But it's just the Guinness in this is being used for a different purpose than it is with the Jameson. So kind of odd. So I mean, personally, I really want Guinness to start seeking out more companies, distilleries to do a little Guinness finish in. Dylan's back. I'll just recap my little monologue there. I was saying when you add Guinness to a Jameson, the Guinness is the stronger part because Jameson's already pretty blank slate, being Irish and being pretty plain. It's good, but I'm just saying it's plain. And then, but in this, the Guinness is the smoothness, and it's that like we were saying. I was saying Guinness in this rounds it out.
Right.
Guinness and Jameson sharpens it, makes it stronger, adds dark flavors, and poignant. So because of the difference of the two, I want more Guinness and more Scotch across the board, to see how it changes things.
Yeah, I feel like all of the Islas would be amazing finished in Guinness.
Or maybe other stouts. But I mean, this is 2 for 2 for Guinness, for Jameson, and for Lagavulin.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this is better. This is a better version of what it's based on. So I guess I'm kind of assuming that it's just the same. This first Nick Offerman edition is what they finished, and that's what the second one is. That's my assumption.
It could be.
But it could be different too. It could be a completely new, not blend, but, process.
Probably a different
mash bill,
different
possibly.
casks mixed together, possible different blend flavor in-house.
And they could be doing that, but I choose to believe that this second one is just the first one, the old one.
I believe that
with
too.
Guinness.
Yeah. No, I think that's a logical conclusion. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm just trying to find some words to make me drink the rest of this. Lagavulin.
We were just describing, I mean, I don't even know how many episodes we are past this, but we do a lot of fan service for Ardbeg because we like Ardbeg so much. And the Ugadal Koi Reckon is kind of the log 16 level if you're comparing the two.
The price?
Yeah, for the price and kind of the flavor profiles. I mean, that's kind of like what you're...
Yeah, because the thing
is... If someone told me, like, oh, I like log 16, but I want to try something else, I'm going to suggest to them, like, Koi Reckon, Okay. Because I think that's what their next step would be. Or if they're off the heels of an Ugadal, I'd be like, have you had log 16? Have you had either Octomore or Port Charlotte, Because
Port Charlotte, yeah.
Yeah.
That would probably be a good one, too.
Yeah, Port Charlotte would be a better recommendation. Because there's no way you're going to find an Octomore. I mean, we did, but just being realistic here, for the common man.
Only seen one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was like $200.
Yeah.
But we haven't reviewed that yet, have we?
No, we did.
We did?
It was off the heels of something else. The only comment I remember, it might have even been off the audio, but you noted that Port Charlotte is like 70% of what Octomore is.
Yeah.
All right, maybe 80%. I guess I remember the exact number, but Octomore really isn't that much different than Port Charlotte. It's just a little bit more of what Port Charlotte embodies.
So here's my thing is I'm not a huge fan of sweetness, like candied sweetness.
Yeah.
So like Jolly Ranchers, M&M, or Skittles and that stuff. I'm a chocolate guy.
Yeah.
So I like bitter sweetness, like a milk chocolate or dark chocolate, that type of sweetness.
Yeah.
And that's how I would compare the difference between the Port Charlotte and, just off memory, the Octomore. Whereas the Port Charlotte is sweeter than the Octomore. But they're very similar. So, but yeah. It's the poor man's
Octomore.
Yeah.
Even though, $60. A lot of people's limit, for whiskey is like, unfortunately, like $30. They don't want to spend it.
Probably should be for us too, but
yeah, my wallet would really beg me to do that. And I'm sure Dylan's wallet would too. He's definitely spent more than I, but maybe because whiskey's kind of a trend right now. Maybe in 5 to 6 years, things would come down in price because it's a more popular beverage of choice.
I'd like to imagine that we're not the cause for that. 'Cause you and I are recently turned 21, we'll say.
Yeah, we're not aged.
and the whiskey boom, a lot of people, 2014, 2016. So we kind of got into it as it was ramping up.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say it's not our fault. It's more of the
certainly not with our view count. It can't be our fault.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, it was interesting. Like it seems like a lot of the like people our age enjoy the whiskey, but it's kind of interesting how that spread, so to speak, the popularity. But yeah, it's interesting. So
let's get to that original Log 16.
Yes.
I want to rinse out my glass again. Do you want another rinsing? You might as well.
Sure.
Considering we rinsed it once before.
Stay consistent and all that. Stay hydrated. I wish there was a way, not that I would sell my bottles, but I wish there was a place where you could sell unwanted whiskey in the United States easily. But that was pretty good. Because I've thought about it. I'm like, there's not really a way. You can't really get rid of whiskey in the U.S. And they're not going to do like an auction site for a $80 bottle. But somebody needs to make that. Somebody needs to make eBay for whiskey. That's the poor man's auction site or somewhere to sell it.
Yeah. I think it's the only reason that existing marketplaces don't is because it's illegal. So the first step would be
you have to be licensed, right?
That's what would make it legal.
You'd have to be a distributor.
So make a more attainable licensing or a specific licensing only for distribution or something,
Right.
Or, like, I don't know how to explain it, but just the most specific auction-based distribution pricing license, and make it affordable for people or for a small company.
Yeah, I just wish it was obtainable.
Yeah.
Because
there's a lot of things where I would like only a couple, like a sample of, because if someone found something, we'll say someone found something rare, they tried it, they didn't like it. Instead of selling their 95% of the bottle, they could split that 95% into 10%, so 9, like 2.5.
Then you have to deal with like
samples.
herpes.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Depending on evil intent, but malicious intent. But yeah, no, I do think because you can sell everything else except for like even I won't go down this conversation, but like you can sell firearms more easily than you can sell whiskey.
Yeah,
it's a little absurd.
Yeah, that's because whiskey leads to firearms or the use of the firearms. I'm just joking.
All right. Wow. So Log 16 knows.
It's more wood.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like more bark.
Yeah,
more potent.
Extra 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get more wood, a little bit more smoke or ash, depending. Not exactly sure.
But no,
yeah,
lacking almost all of the fruity sweetness, citrusiness that we were talking about with the Nick Offerman versions. I don't get a green apple from this.
No.
I don't get a banana. I don't get a cherry. I
get the saltwater taffy.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
See, maybe a little bit of sweetness, candy sweetness. But the wood, yeah, that is the takeaway on the nose. Yeah, man.
I mean, this is what made us fall in love with Scotch, was just how woody, mossy it just smells like the forest, I guess.
Yeah, the Log 16 is, I think the three of us, that's what sold us.
Yeah.
It wasn't possibly the entry point, but it sold us on it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to taste this. I don't know. It's really good.
It's really, really good. This is creamier than the regular Nick Offerman edition.
This is better than the regular one.
Yeah. And
Nick Offerman edition, I
yeah,
should say. Better than the
it
regular
doesn't,
Nick Offerman.
this one isn't though, like subtle. You know, this is very simple.
I guess that's what I mean is it's like it's not necessarily worse or better
Yeah.
than the second edition of the Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
It's just
different.
Just different.
Yeah.
And
We should just do a little sip of the new Nick Offerman after this.
Okay.
Just to see how far it's come.
shake it up.
Yeah. Because I claimed that the Nick Offerman new one is 60% the same, 40% different. And you said it was like 25 to 30% different. And I want to double check ourselves.
Using the roller coaster analogy again, to me, this, I would say, we'll find out after we go back to what we first tried. So many numbers just getting mixed up. Like, I can't keep track. But I would say that the main roller coaster may be different, but they all end at the same finishing level, I would say.
I only disagreed because the new Nick Offerman, it's hot because of the pepper.
This is hot too, though.
But
You don't think this is like a spearmint hot finish?
Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it is a spice herbal hot, which is how that is how I described the first one was a little herbal.
I guess that's what I'm thinking is
Yeah.
the main journey may be different, but I think the finishing points are pretty similar. They uplift, they add a little tang, spice, or a spearmint or something. I think that the main initial hit of the 16, it doesn't go up as high. It's not as sharp.
Yeah.
It's rounded out. It doesn't fall off a cliff as much as the first edition Nick Offerman, and it dips more than I think the second edition finished in Guinness, but it comes back up with that lifting, either spearmint or little tang, so to speak. But
Yes, tang is totally what the word I would use to describe. Like either that or again about the new Nick Offerman, I said it was a little bit of tobacco. This has got tobacco too.
oh yeah.
But so now comparing old Nick Offerman to the Log 16, I feel like old Nick Offerman actually lost a lot of flavors.
It has been open quite a while.
Yeah, it's mellowed out a lot.
Whereas this 16 is near empty, but this is probably
a
only
newer bottle.
It's a new bottle within 2 weeks. That 16 is about, or that 11, the first edition Nick Offerman is probably about, it could be a year old.
Yeah, we got to get one of Brooklyn's or something.
He's got 2 unopened
Ones.
I thought,
which is also why we want that new marketplace for whiskey, so that we can
sell his. That's what
we can sell his. Yeah, I don't want to sell mine.
If I knew.
Yeah, I don't want the ones that I'm saving.
Yeah,
to
I
be
want
sold.
mine.
Yeah,
when I sell mine.
Exactly.
But
if he wouldn't miss it, like he said, or like we said, it's unopened. He obviously doesn't want it.
Just slip him a 16. He wouldn't even open the box.
He wouldn't even.
He's like, "Yep, it's still heavy." And then he opens it up. He's like, 16.
That's weird.
Frick.
Yeah,
But
must be a misprint.
yeah, no, it's.
So I added water to the Log 16. It smells fruitier.
Yeah,
it's only,
Sharpie.
Yeah. Yeah, like a Sharpie. Yeah, you're totally right.
I guess I didn't mean it, but like, yeah, I mean, it's got that. The alcohol is kind of, this to me, kind of jumped out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Sharpie is, but it's got that. I don't sniff Sharpies. I'm gonna say that, but maybe you do.
What's in Sharpies?
Well, that's why I'm like, I don't. Whatever makes it
smell like it.
Smell like that. But,
yeah. I don't know what actually makes it smell like that.
But
probably magic.
It's a magic. It is a magic marker.
Mm-hmm. That's why you need a magic eraser to erase the Sharpie.
All right, tasting it.
Nothing changed. Like very little changed to me. Like it's obviously less proof. less hot.
You
But
think
it's this.
yeah.
I think it's the same flavors. And roller coaster analogy again. All it does is it minimized
Did it bring
the
down
max and the min.
think
All it does is
I
it
think
brought
so
it
too.
down, and but then it doesn't fall as far either.
It's normalized.
It's just normalized a little bit closer to the center. So, if you're someone that doesn't like highs and lows, just add a little water. Makes it more subtle. A little more. It mutes. It muted the flavors.
Yeah, I think the 16 is still. I think we're knocking on the door of I don't know, discovery, I guess, but it's not better or worse. It's just different.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll say all three of these have displayed more chocolate than I thought was in it. I've never looked for chocolate when I drank Log 16, but but when I drink the cream, when I noticed the creaminess, I noticed the cocoa flavor because I didn't think I noticed it in the old Nick Offerman, but it was there. Did not remember it in the Log 16, but it is there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to have found a new flavor note that I didn't even think about or taste before, but now that I'm searching for it because of the new Guinness finish, that it was there the whole time.
Yeah. No, I'm just amazed.
Freaking Lagavulin, man, nailing it, freaking every time, except for the 8. We don't talk about that, but
redhead stepchild.
but everything else they've made,
I think we got to try
I've had
9 at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
I think.
Do you mind if we have a little more of the
Let's
the
do
new
that.
Nick?
Let's go back to the
I'll let
second
you,
edition.
Don't rush it. He rushed it.
What?
We'll rinse again.
I'm just speechless because I don't. There's nothing shocking or new, anything to say. It's just cork pop. Everyone that's had, there's nothing new to say about Log 16. It's as good as it always is. If you've had it, unfortunately, if you don't like it, then, well, you still know what it tastes like. But more Log 16 for us, and hopefully the price stays back at the $70 price range.
Mm-hmm. I only wish I was Scottish just to know if it's like how much cheaper is it there to an equivalent of the dollar, because obviously they didn't get a price hike like we did, but is like log still, is it even affordable there? Would the layman buy log? Because the layman doesn't buy log here. The layman doesn't buy Scotch at all in America. The average person,
Yeah.
If you're the average basic whiskey drinker, in America,
we found out there's affordable scotches.
Did we?
Well, yes, but did we find out there was good affordable scotches?
They are there. They exist.
Yeah.
I just mean, because a layman is just a basic average blank person. So a layman American whiskey drinker, they drink bourbon. Because that's what's affordable and good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And we got lots. I mean, that's like not a claim to make. That's just the truth. But if you were Scottish, you live in Scotland, you are in Scotland, do you drink Scotch? If you're a whiskey drinker, is that even like
I think
super? So. I guess I should say specifically log.
I don't think it's a normal one because it's probably it's like it's hard. What's the equivalent for like an American, like a bourbon drinker? Like I don't know, something fancy. Like you're not gonna. I'd say it's, if the Ardbeg 10 is like, it's not a good comparison, but for price, if it's like small batch Knob Creek, then
that's a good.
The Log 16 is probably the Booker's.
Booker's a lot more expensive though than Knob Creek.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, but I guess like
proportionally,
Ardbeg 10 is really expensive compared to 16.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the question. Is like, somehow let us know what the price is. And
yeah, if you're a Scottish listener, please tell us.
Or the UK.
Yeah.
But
well, Scotland is the UK.
Yes, but I you know what I meant. I meant Great Britain. But yeah, because that's all we can compare is the price. The flavor, much different from bourbon, obviously.
Yeah.
But speaking of flavor, let's go back to the Lagavulin Nick Offerman edition number dos. Cream and apple is back on the nose, but it is creamy.
It's really good. Yeah, I mean, I described it. It's just more. It's more flavor, more sense,
mid-body.
more mid-body. There's more there. And I like this the most out of the three. I like it better than the Lock 16 just because I love that creaminess. I love that chili pepper. What I thought, I didn't think that chili pepper was there the first time I had it. Now that I have it in this glass, I love that.
My final thought is, I guess, on this is when this bottle is gone, I will be sad, but I will not be crushed in the fact that like I'll never be able to experience again. It's like you appreciate it. You'll be like, yeah, man, that was good.
Yeah.
But the 16,
It's always there for you.
it's always there, and it's
always
not like
there.
it's it's not like the comparison of like if the 8 was the staple and the 16 was limited edition,
Yeah.
and the 16's gone,
That'd be different.
that would be
That would be crushing.
That would be crushing. But yeah, once this log 11 Nick Offerman is gone, will be unfortunate, but the 16 won't be devastating.
And with how good these approaches into the unknown that Lagavulin has taken to make new things, the next one might even be better, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how, but they'll think of something. Maybe it won't be better, but it'll be good. It'll probably be really good.
Yeah. Well,
that's really all there is to say.
Speechless.
Speechless, even though...
Go buy it.
Yeah.
If you can afford 16 and you like the 16,
yeah.
and take the plunge, go get it.
This is a logical next step.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Extraordinary Gentleman podcast. And join us next time.